Hi there, it's time to look at what the whales are doing with PYTH. If you're new to my session, here are the 3 key items that I'll cover during the session. So let's start with the weekly chart of PYTH. Here, well, I've lost the tag over here. What I mean is I should bring in this and put it over here. Yeah, that's for PYTH. At least you know you're at the right place. So for PYTH, from the big picture point of view, is basically going through the testing stage. What do we mean by testing? Is the whales that are testing how much or how many paper hands are still there. They're doing these kind of like up and down tests for almost half a year already. Starting, well, not even half a year for the case for PYTH. Actually, since the price dipped to the selling climax, this level, after April 2025, to this point it's 9 months already that this kind of test is still going on. This deep level test after what we call the sign of strength, this meaning the price surged to challenge the previous trading range top set by the bulls with significant volume. If this test goes into the next distribution cycle, meaning the next top, next peak, immediately. I mean, immediately means over the course of probably 2 to 3 months. In Wyckoff, we call that the spring. That's the name of the test. But to make it simple for you, I just called all these tests. And one test can be lower than the other. We see this over and over again. All right? Similar thing happened back in summer 2024 until it peaked in 2024 December. Alright, so that's the big picture. We hope to see, once again, something similar to what happened back in August 2025. Either long white candlestick with tall volume bars, or consecutive average white candlesticks and white volume bars. Cumulative or just a few tall ones, doesn't matter. It means the momentum is there. People are coming back. So, knowing what the whales are doing right now, let's look at potential trend change dates. So, PYTH, starting from August 29th, it has been going through this downtrend. Up to now, it seems like it's started a sideways movement, but not until the point we get to potentially the quickest is 2 days later, meaning Monday, or a week later. Then we know whether this trend is really confirmed, because this is where the ceiling of the downtrend is, and these are the resistance and supports right now. Those levels are at around 0.067 and the upper is 0.075. Roughly about that range, this narrow range as of this moment. If there isn't sufficient momentum to support the bulls and the bears hammered very hard like what they did 2 days ago on Thursday. The fortunate thing over here is just the price spread is larger, but the volume wasn't that high, so the bears wasn't too strong as well. However, if they succeed in suppressing the price like what they are doing over the past 3 days, including today, you can clearly see the bulls try to push very hard for the price to go back to above the 0.067 line over here. If the bulls fail, then the price will trade back to this range, alright, this larger triangle. If that happens, that's pointing to somewhere near the 11th of February. Alright, so pretty important for the coming few days. And then eventually, if the bulls fail to change the trend and the price continues to be suppressed by the ceiling of the downtrend, we probably have to wait for another 3 weeks before the next confirmation would come in. Okay, so that's the picture for PYTH. If you're interested to get access to these sessions 2 days earlier than the others, it's time to join the membership now. See you in the next